Welcome to Mini Modernz. My name's Simone and thank you for joining me on my tiny corner on the miniature interweb where we're here to think big, build small. So let's get into it. So today we are going to be working on our printable wine rack. If you want to get the full set, it is available in my Etsy store. I will leave a link in the description. So let's get on with this one today. So you see we've got this printable here. We just simply print this out. If you've got some cardstock, this will be really great. It's also optional as well if you want to print on GSM paper, just to give it that little bit of extra thickness, but you really don't need to do that because these things will be doubled up and I'm going to show you. So the first thing you want to do is cut out each section. They have been printed out into sections, so you just cut out each chunk. And here you can see the front and the side, so you can see what it's going to look like. So go ahead and then just cut these out. So now once you have these cut out, you should have sections. You've got your main frame, like this piece right here. And these will be doubled back to back. And all you do is stick these down onto your cardstock. So with all of the sections, so this section here are these side panels and the smaller pieces here are the middle panels going across. So just stick those down onto the cardstock and then just let them set and dry. So now with them all set and dry, it's time to cut them out. You can use your scissors to cut these out, X-Acto blade, whatever you've got to hand. And this file is available as an SVG file as well. So if you just want to use these as a template, then there's an option for that as well. So simply cut these sections out and they are going to be doubled up like back to back. So I'm going to just show you here. So with your two pieces cut like this, just trim them down to size. Again, use whatever you want to cut these. I'm using these scissors. I've said before, I do need to invest in some smaller scissors for these intricate little parts, but I'm just going to use my scissors and cut this little groove here. This is the groove that would hold your wine bottle. So just cut these out and then we're going to stick these together. So here I've just cut out a few of the pieces so you can see how we'll be doubling them up and sticking together. So all you do is literally stick them back to back, just like this. And we'll be doing this for all of the pieces, just so you've got the front and back to have that wood texture. Again, if you're using an SVG file, then you wouldn't need to do this because you'd already probably be using your wood texture. And if not, then it's the same technique if you're cutting it out on cardstock. So you've got this doubled up and you're going to go ahead and double up all of the remaining pieces. So you should end up with 4 of these middle frame pieces. That's what's going to hold it together. 4 of these side pieces, and then 4 of the actual main frame itself. With all the pieces cut, it's now time to assemble. Now this part is optional. You might want to just do this by eye and stick them down, but if you're a bit like me and tend to get things a bit wonky, it's a good idea to just kind of measure up where you want your distance to be for your rack, your main frame of the rack. So all I'm going to use is my ruler. And I'm going to leave a 5mm gap at the top and the bottom of each of the side panels like this. So now that I'm happy with where I've marked out my side panels, I'm just going to use the main frame and just stick basically the bottom of the rack onto the little mark that I've made on the side piece. It's just so that it's all level and we have no problems later on. So go ahead and get a little bit of glue and put it on the side piece of your rack, and then stick that onto the side panel. So it's just sitting on top of where we just marked with the gap there. You see that? And we go ahead and do that with the top piece as well. But this time making the top part hit the mark that we've just made. My hand's in the way here, sorry. But I think you get the gist. You just want to leave a gap at the top as well. So now I'm going to let this set and dry. And because it's paper, you can kind of manipulate the shape a bit when it dries to straighten any kinks that you've got in there. So you've got something like this. And we're going to go ahead and do the same now with the other pieces that we have. At this stage, you just have 2 spare side panels that we're going to stick just as we did with the first set that we did. And this again is going to give it a bit more stability and help it take shape. And there we have it. So now we have 2 of these stuck together and now it's actually trying to bring this baby home. So what we're going to do is put some glue on those small side middle connecting pieces. Now they're going to go on the inner side of the rack. We just show you here. So if you can see, That's on the inner piece of the rack. I'm going to do that on both top and bottom layers of the rack, and then we do the same on the opposite side. This is quite finicky. I should have used tweezers really, but you know, sometimes when you're just in the flow, you just get to it. But use some tweezers or something that can help with the grip, because it's a lot easier if you do it that way. I just like to make things harder for myself. Glutton for punishment, yes. And when that final piece is on there, just leave it to dry. I know the temptation to keep on sticking, I had it so many times, I'm not gonna lie, but let it dry, trust me guys, otherwise the whole thing's gonna collapse before you even finish. So once that's dry and you're happy with it, we're gonna clean up any edges and all that kind of stuff. We can do that a bit later. We can now assemble the final part, and all you're gonna do is just add a little bit of glue to the end of the middle pieces, so it will just sit like this. We're gonna put the glue on both sides, so it just looks something like this. A little bit of glue there and some glue there. I am using Gorilla wood glue. It's entirely up to you what glue you want to use, but make sure that when you are sticking this down that you have it even, because you do not want a wonky rack. So just level it up and then stick it down. And there we have our beautiful wine rack. I'm really happy with how this turned out, and I've got some little bottle of wines to pop on there, and I would like you to stay tuned for our next video where I show you how we actually make these bottles of wine as well. This is also part of the printable set, so I'm going to show you how we do this using paper and cardstock. But there we have it, a nice simple wine rack made from handy dandy paper and cardstock. I hope that you've enjoyed this guys, and that you've got something from this, and if you have, comment down below and share your thoughts. You know I'm here for it. And if you'd like to get this printable for yourself, it is available in my Etsy store, and also I will leave a link to my Patreon as well, where I will be putting some stuff in my shop too. So keep a lookout guys. I hope you've enjoyed this. Stay tuned for the next video where I show you how we make the wine bottles. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Like, share, subscribe.